here we go. Okay, so before I get into the team I brought and the reason I brought in particular members, let's get started with talking about this event. I have zero clue what it's about. All I do know is about Frieza. Now, as looking at the title and looking at the pictures, it's self-explanatory. But I'm not that smart when it comes to legends, as you can tell. I play stupid a lot, and that doesn't help me a lot. So I decided to be smart in the members I brought in this lovely team to help me beat this one event. Excuse the music, my wife is jamming music today, playing with the dogs. I had to get the little spare time to make this video real quick, otherwise I was always going to forget. So here we go, I'm going to get into my team very quickly. This is the team. Now, as you can tell from each member of the team, these are almost all of my favorite Friezas to use. Well, not everyone is Frieza here. The reason I didn't bring Golden Frieza in particular is because of this one right here. I saw no point in bringing a Golden Frieza when I have a better version of a Golden Frieza. A Frieza that can fight in two different forms, and it may be a certain amount of time for a boost. And yes, my Golden Frieza, my green Golden Frieza is 7 stars. I probably should have brought him, but the only reason I didn't was because I like using Cooler in particular. Cooler is one of my favorite units out of the entire lineage of Evil team. Anyway, if I ever run a Frieza team, I'm always gonna put this guy on there. Why? Because I just love him. Yes, I could have brought a different purple unit, but I did bring the LF instead of the other cough cough unit I was going to bring. Now, the reason being for that, very quickly, I don't know. I didn't really think about it until now, but as we begin for this event, I don't know how everything's going to play out, so that's why I brought this in particular team. Now, as you can look for the equipment, each equipment's supposed to help, obvious strike, buff, defense, stuff like that. But as you can see, I try to make sure the ones I know I'm mainly going to be using a lot are the ones that have the bigger buffs, or in particular, the most S's. I don't have too many S ranks. Equipment, I need to work on that myself. I've been upgrading a lot of equipment as I get them, and I delete a lot of them at the same time. Not the S ranks, that's stupid of me. I have a lot of A ranks, and that is stupid of me to have, but it's just in case. But as we begin the first fight, we're gonna just go ahead and get this over with. It's funny, it's not a what's the name commentary, it's this isn't like post, this is like during. That's the funny part. It's like I'm talking like it's post. This is also their Frieza. I say their Frieza because it's not my Frieza. This not hashtag my Frieza. My Frieza is the yellow one over there that has this lovely ability where he has a second chance, even if it's not a region, nor is he a revival character, but he does have a lovely ability that I just love. You gonna boost up mines? Huh. Gotta replay that now. That's gonna be nice to do. Not gonna want to. But hey, here we go. As we begin the second fight here, great, they do move colors. I was so scared that I was being consistently playing with either red or blue that was it. I'll be wasting time bringing these other units in. Now I guess we get to showcase the particular reason why I brought this Cooler. I love using Cooler in particular because Cooler has been a game changer when he came out. He was a much needed character to replace, well, the old Cooler. Not the one that was Zenkai'd. And he dodges. No, he did not. I expect a lot from the computer sometimes, so don't judge me. And with that, that's done. Alright. Now, another reason that I brought these in particular units, instead of who I kind of would have brought if it was up to me, I know it was up to me, but I was saying, if it was up to me for event-wise, I would have brought in pretty much 2 Coolers. I would have brought the purple transforming Cooler, because why wouldn't you? That's a really good character. Like, the only reason is because I have an LF Frieza, and I want to use him a few times at least. And I brought another good Frieza that I also like using. I also have the old Frieza, the old Sparking Frieza. The one that have the paralyze ability. Funny story. He's almost finished. Like, he's 2 stars away from being 14 stars. So, yeah, not Zenkai'd, but just 14 stars. And I don't care for the Zenkai yet, but I care for the 14 stars right now. Whew. Okay, now as we begin this fight, okay, nothing's really changing yet. It's not really getting to the intense feel where it's gonna make me stop talking, makes me say, oh, hold on, gotta focus. Okay, didn't know your abilities, Frieza. I completely forgot what his green card did for a split second or two, so I kind of just winged it, like what I'm doing now. You're talking to yourself. A better version of the one that he's here to replace. Nice. So, I kind of like this event because, so far, I like it because I just looked at the equipment, and if I get it to either Z tier or even the Golden Z, that would be nice. It would be my first Golden Z equipment. I don't have any Golden Z equipment. I could show you my equipment, and I would confirm that, once again, I do not have any Golden Z. I have a Red Z because, you know, who doesn't have at least one Red Z equipment? At least one. And I have a lot of S ones. Now, when I say I have a lot, I genuinely mean I just have... Oh, started off wrong. Okay, we'll start with that Frieza. I do have a few S ones. Like a lot. Like, most of them are pretty much the same one. Why do I have so many of them? Because I just kept going with it. I didn't know what I was doing with the game, and I just... You have to remember, I just started back using equipment for me, guys. He's gonna dodge it. Oh. Oh, sorry. Talking about my dad about Jesus Christ, so that's nice. Talking about in particular them mocking Jesus. I'm gonna swap out and continue this fight. He could have swapped out, but it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what you do. You can come back with a blue card if you want. Yep, had a feeling. Gonna swipe here. Gonna switch to this. Frieza gonna dodge. Okay, that's fine. Green card immediately. Okay, I can hit my green card. Now I'm gonna hit my green card and push you back. Do I get any stuff back? Nope. Oh, that's fine. I'm just gonna transform and hit my Rising Rush. Winning the fight. Winning the fight, like I stated. We have a few good Friezas, by the way. Like, a few really good Friezas that really are worth the time. Matter of fact, before my dad texts me anymore, let me make sure I put it on. I love this man so much. I'm gonna make my point very quickly, Dad. Don't you worry. But before then, let me finish with this in particular. Now I gotta replay it. But this time, I didn't land a blue card, huh? Didn't even use it. It was a blue card right there, too. It's fine. Whew. We have 3. We're good on 300 at the moment. I already stated what I had to say about you guys summoning on this banner. If you guys want to summon on the new GT banner, the All-Star GT banner, that's up to you to summon more than 2 times. I say 2 max. 3 if you really can. Anything above that's you. Don't look at me and say I'm the one that's forced you to do it, because I'm not. Other than that, then, let's get into talking about more Friezas, actually. Let's just pop blue card right there, give me more key, or give me, yep, okay, green card, freeze you, okay, gonna, yep, I have to wait a second or two. Oh, I kind of expected him to charge at me, kind of unexpected with that one. Would this kill? I don't know. I don't think so. Oh, it is. Okay. but in particular this. I love each Frieza that exists, but I don't use Lineage of Evil too much. To explain why, I don't main Lineage of Evil. I never really did. I tried to, but I've always had a rough thing with Lineage of Evil. Why have I had a rough time with Lineage of Evil? To put it in short, you have to remember, when I first started playing the game, I didn't know what I was doing. As I gotten better, I kind of stuck to certain teams that basically covered up my weakness of not knowing how to play. In particular, one person that really helped me a lot, well, a team, was either God Key or Fusion. Not saying I couldn't use hybrids, not saying I couldn't use androids. I mainly use either hybrids or I was trying to wait, I had to take a second to think who I was gonna bring first. Or in particular, Fusion. Wait, did I already say Fusion? That doesn't matter. Fusion basically covered up a bunch of my weaknesses that I was lacking. And I kind of always had like a small little run of me playing PvP before making a halt out of complete nowhere. Some people would understand when you take a devastating loss sometimes. You know the feeling when you take that one loss that you believe you could have won. And then it just angers you to the point where you're just like, nope, not doing that again. That's gonna hurt. Okay, it didn't hurt that much. But this will. Didn't expect that to go down the way it did. Well, I grabbed him. Who should I swap into? I'll swap into you. Boom. Once again, it's not that I can't use Lineage of Evil, it's just that I don't. I never really paid attention to too much of their skills, but I knew what they could bring to the table. I know that pretty much any team in Dragon Ball Legends, you really can run to the highest. If you run at the absolute peak of them, you really could be top meta. You really could be. And I always say top meta, well, top rank, let me state that, not top meta. You could always be top rank. I've always said this before, that it's more on the player and less on the characters after a while. Because after a while, if you play in the game, you will slowly see that the game, yes, has a thing where it will basically look at you for using old characters. It wants to use more up-to-date characters. Yes, that is true. But that does not mean that the game just doesn't want you to use any kind of characters like this. They want you to use other characters. They want you to mismatch your team. That's why they make new units like this. It's not all about the meta sometimes. Sometimes it's just about replacing a unit or two that could need it, and he dodges. Oh, no, he charged at me. Give it a second, give it a second. I did it too late. Goodbye. Even if he dodges, it's still goodbye. But yeah, that's just a small little thing at the moment. Small little thing for everybody who's gonna play any other team in the game. I would suggest you really sit and look at who you're playing with, because you could have an underrated gem right in front of you and not even know. This is gonna hurt if this doesn't go through. Does he have black? He does. I forgot if he did or not. I forgot for a split second, so it's fine. Things like this will happen when you play Dragon Ball Legends, especially PvP. You will completely forget what the character you brought in can do. You will forget if you used the main. You'll forget if their skill card has the what's the name or not, has the blast barrier or not. You're gonna run into stuff like that. Don't get discouraged. Keep playing. Don't give up either, because if you give up, you'll probably be missing out on a really good opportunity for yourself. This game isn't all skill-based in every single match. Some matches you will have just for the sake of having fun. There are people who do not sweat while they play. There are people who just play for the fun of it. Now we begin the fun portion of another reason I'm playing this event. And that's what kind of going to make this video a little bit longer. Completing challenges. Yay. Now, I normally sit down and I normally do these in my spare time where I can do it individually, but it's not too bad of a damage thing here. It's not really too bad, so we can quickly run this down. How many chronicles do we even get from this event? Oh, sorry, I guess. But all I'm stating is this: if you play Dragon Ball Legends, I would suggest if you probably looking for teams to use, I would always start off with a good meta team. If you don't have any characters that are in the meta, get better at the game because you're going to need it. You really are. You have to understand this game is not easy for free to play players a lot of times. The reason it's not is because, let's be real, it caters to you at the very beginning. And that's where it's the best part to play a lot of games like this, is at the very beginning. Because once you get past the beginning stages of it, you're now at the part where they really want you to be, or where they really want people to be in general. He's mid-range at the moment. Got him. And also be patient while playing the game, please. I beg. I truly beg everyone when I say be patient. This game isn't the toughest of all games, but that doesn't mean it has to be treated as like the most complicated Rubik's Cube of all time. It really isn't at times. It's a pretty simple premise that, oh, I took away one of my, what's her names? If he strikes again, that's great. I messed up. Okay. I don't know if you have a, I'm just gonna do this. Doesn't care if he blocks it or not. But yeah, this game isn't really too complex. It has its complications to it, but it's a pretty simple basic game. Your cards basically help you attack, and without them you can't really attack unless you tap the screen. You have to you have to know how people can fight. You have to know, because there are a lot of different type of players in a game that seems so simple to some and very difficult to others. There are the very, very extremely patient people you will run across. You'll run across people who were just all around, will wait for you and counter your every move because they waited. They will try to provoke you to move if you don't fight back. So that brings me to this in particular point. Back to teams. You have to know your teams. You have to. If you don't know what their abilities are, and let's say right now I brought this Frieza to the fight. That's not the Frieza I need. I need maybe this Frieza, or this one. But I brought this one instead. I don't in particular know all of his good abilities. I don't know what he's better at. I don't know if he's better at being in the middle. I'm not sure if he's better at being far end, close range. I'm not sure where he really shines the best. Because you see, there's 3 layers in between you and the player. There's always 3 layers. It's simple. You will always see it, and you probably looked at it, you probably skimmed past it a lot, and that was it. You probably never really gave it too many thoughts, but it actually will help you in this game. If you know when someone is mid-range and just directly in front of you. Is it possible to be directly in front of somebody? Yes, it is. That's where there's 3 lanes. Well, 3, I guess. I'm trying to put it in the best way. There's 3 blocks, basically. Picture as 3 mental blocks when you play the game. Far range would be 3, mid range would be 2, close range would be 1. There's always a block basically separating you guys to make it where it is, which is why a lot of times when you swipe, and especially if you fell for like any tricks or anything like that, that's why it's best to back up a lot of times, to not immediately rush into the fight, because they could have something planned that you're not ready for. What happens if they're able to hit a green card, and it's, let's say hypothetical, a character who can counter using the green card, and you strike, and let's say Gogeta, any Gogeta that has a green card that can, counter perfectly with. But yeah, you see what I mean very quickly. Like, look, I didn't even know. I forgot he can do this. I forgot he can restore after every hit. I knew about that green card though, because that green card is very deadly if you mix him with Captain Ginyu. And I think, but as you can see, all of this character right here is really good. To put it in short, this is a really good character. He's gonna try something. I did too early. Good one. Okay, now he's far range. He is what we would call, like I stated before, he is in the what's the name position. That would be the 3 blocks. Okay. Now, there are certain people who can strive very well in the 3 blocks. There's some people who can strive very well in the 2 blocks. There's even more people who can strive extremely well in 1 block. You have to know who is who for a reason. And I messed up on it, and that was my fault. I could have striked instead of try to side swap. He's probably going to try something. I'm going to just go ahead and let go of the green card so I can have my, I forgot the name of this card. It took away, I forgot. See what I mean about knowing the abilities? I forgot that it does that. And this is how we're in the fight. Now, there are some abilities that cannot hit all 3. There are certain blue cards that cannot hit, like, okay, let me put it like this. Certain hits cannot go past 2 blocks. I think the biggest example I have at the moment would be, the one I could think of off the top of my head would be Frost. Frost has a green card that is poison. It stuns for like a few seconds. And yeah, if you played the game from the very beginning, you would know this, and you would know that how good it was when it first came out, but now it's frowned upon, basically, because we have a bunch of characters who can do it from a distance. We have a bunch of characters that can just pop into the fight and paralyze, like the 1000-Day Boma and Hercule. The hero Hercule can do it also. If you mix them with Nail too, then you really got a recipe for disaster when it comes to that. Let's see, what do I have to do? I need 2 blues, but I just need to land 2 blues. So we'll switch teams. Ah, yes. Why not use a random team that I just have laying about? So, since I'm already on a different team, let's get on and let's talk about this in particular. Well, more of the Kid Buu. This Kid Buu is actually really good if you need somebody. If you're like top meta, or you want to plan on making top meta, I would say one of the best teams to kind of combat a lot of teams. I would say androids are really good, and also I'm so used to using his blue card. I'm sorry. I mean his green card before the fight starts. Is Regen and androids. Reason being I say those two is because they have a perfect counter for a lot of them. Yes, there are female warriors can also do the same thing. Now these are teams that are popular but not too popular in the scene. The teams I just mentioned, anyways. That's kind of how all of this really works. As you can see, he does also that little boost and stuff. I do this. Oh wait, was I supposed to? Oh no, I'm good. I think I'm good. I think I'm supposed to hit a main ability. Either way it goes, we're good. But yeah, know your abilities. When it comes, I keep saying it because it's common. It's very common. You have to know who you're bringing in. Know what they bring to the table. Know what they do not and what they lack. Do you have any characters who can feel what they lack? Because not every character is an all-arounder and actually good on every part. Like, I can state right this. One of my favorite characters that... I have a favorite character for almost anything you would ask me. If you say, who's your favorite defensive character, I would say it depends. If you're saying and their typing is defense, or I use them for the defensive part, I would say hit would be one of my favorite. The reason being, not only the crit damage, but also because of his lovely green card. The green card is a one-stop shop that, if I'm correct, I'm pretty sure it works even with taps also. So that's why I like hit in particular. But now he's not my end-all to be-all favorite. Like, if I want to play aggressively, I like using fusion in particular, and not just one fusion, really pretty much anyone from fusion. So now I gotta go back to this team. I gotta get the first hit, which sometimes is kind of difficult no matter which you're playing on. Sometimes you have to play passively to get the first hit. Sometimes you don't. It depends sometimes, because it's not always your fault if you don't get the first hit at the very beginning. It's not really always your fault. I don't want no one to believe that it's your fault. Like, let's say you're playing the story right now and you're probably still stuck on that one part of trying to get the first hit. I would say you're not the problem. See, you're not the problem. I played this game on the daily and I messed up, and with that I'm not going to continue it, because what will be the point? I at least need to take care of both of them at the same time to minimize time consumed in the game, or time for the video, let me state that. Another big thing for this game is positioning. I keep saying about the blocks because they actually mean a lot. And as you notice in my videos, I don't have a script, I just talk. That's why I would sometimes fumble over my words, and sometimes why I think a lot while I talk, because I'm always thinking about something to continue get everything going, and we're good. We got the first hit. What other things do we need to do in this? We need to... Oh, we did both at the same time. That's funny. But you have to know the abilities. Not only the abilities, you have to know what they bring to the table. Not only that, and if they're lacking anything. Because trust me, there is no character that isn't lacking. Oh yeah, and drifting. That's another thing you may want to start doing. If you don't drift, you probably should start. Sometimes swiping or switching characters in will take up a lot of time, so be prepared for that. So sometimes you probably will have someone that's waiting for you to make the mistake that they know you're going to make, because you're working at this point on their time, not your own, where it's no longer a skill base. After a while, it's basically, you know when to swipe because they're playing aggressive, they're playing overly aggressive, which is a common mistake for a lot of players, is to play over aggressive when you can't win. That's not going to help you in every fight. It's going to help you in some fights, but it's not going to help you in every one. That's not a top tier, I keep saying tier, top meta gameplay is just play aggressive the whole time. Anytime you can strike, you always strike. No, don't do that. Be smart, be patient. I know your heart can be racing, your fingers can be sweaty, but if you want to make it in a game like this, I would suggest you do. Now I'm supposed to land. Okay, so I gotta do one vanish step. Land as a green character. I could do this with only one with only one character. Probably shouldn't know, so I'm just gonna bring both of those. You know what? Let's bring a third one just in case. Also, please, this is a big one. This isn't a rule in particular in the game, but if you see somebody who puts 1v1 and they only have one person in the slot, bring one person. Please. That's all someone like me asks. I'll take that, that's fine. if he still lives. I like how he talks trash about himself like that. But yeah, don't play overly aggressive. I would suggest passive. Yes, the game is forcing you to play passive. Oh yeah, and never. And I repeat, this is a really a big one. This is a really big one because I don't see a lot of people doing it anymore. But this was a big thing and half the reason why they told us to start playing more aggressive. Never, ever. I'm about to show you. In fact, I'm about to show you what never to do. They're watching me use red. I'll just use 2 reds, and we are moving on. Bread. Here's my wife. Yes. Never do this. He's gonna give you a second to talk. Okay, hold on.
Oh yeah, what are you doing? Trying to get the bone from under there.
Well executed for an amateur.
A fight to you, perhaps. Time to dole out some vengeance. Allow me. I'll show you true golden hell. Just die! Time to space dust! This pathetic groveling, it suits you quite well, in fact. I will savor murdering. Oh, time to dole out some edits! Be gone! Fly! Let the terror begin.
What splendid fireworks!
I expect to be entertained. You know my form. Something. Yeah. You know my form.
You're an eyesore!
Get out of my sight. Something. Yeah. Let's get down to business. Ha! I am the strongest in the universe! Ha! Allow me to welcome you to hell. I am the strongest in the universe! You lower life form! Get out of my sight! Die! Lower life form! Destroy this planet! None in the universe is my equal! Witness the Big Getty Star's power!